This is a Boardwalk Audio podcast.
Hi, Whiners.
Hi, Whiners. I'm so excited about this week's ad because I really do just go on ModCloth and cherish everything on that site, and I love their clothes. I love their accessories.
I wish I had a personal experience to talk to you about ModCloth.
Sean, you could. I mean, it's women's clothing, accessories. They have vintage stuff. It's all independent designers. It's a fantastic site. Like, I've trolled dresses on there for ages.
Sometimes I wear my hair like a mod, and then I'm wearing cloth.
You are a ModCloth.
You
are walking an ad for...
Hello, I am ModCloth.
Hear me roll.
Hear me roar. Triangles, specters, grams, ModCloth. That's my ad for ModCloth.
Oh, mine is just like they have these purses with cats on them that I need, and they have so many cardigans, it's so sweater weather, and they have so many cute cardigans. I might even wear color. They have some cute ones that I might even make me break down and buy things in color.
Wow. Parallelograms, cubes, spheres, ModCloth. Join ModCloth.
Mondrian.
I'm just listing shapes.
I don't get it. No circles, though. Never a curved line.
Never a curved line at ModCloth.
Only a mod line.
But no, seriously, this is a great clothing website.
I'm so excited because now I can go on and get like things that I would have to save up for otherwise, because we have a 20% discount.
20% off. So this is actually a real thing.
This is a real thing, like a real amount of money taken off your order. All you have to do is go to boardwalkaudio.com/modcloth.
And that's boardwalkaudio.com/modcloth to get 20% off. 20% off. That
your
is a
entire order. Buy everything. Buy everything on the site.
Yeah. Ellen is like full Black Friday over here. She's like grabbing things around my house. Ellen, that's a pillow.
I'm like kidding. Click.
That's not for sale. That's my
I'm
chair.
just on the site, like click. Like in the cart. My cart's just overflowing.
So ModCloth guys, get into it. Thanks, Whiners. Bye.
Bye.
I just drink wine.
Welcome to the wine situation. Well, that had operatic tones.
Yeah, I like
it. Ooh,
Yeah.
Dorothy Chandler Pavilion. Look out. Ellen Clifford is coming.
You guys, that's where our live show will be.
Dorothy Chandler. You know, we're just going to sell out the Dorothy Chandler. That's what we do.
That's my plan.
Welcome to the wine situation, guys. It's a show where we pair people's wines with an H.
With wines without.
That's right.
With alcoholic wines. I'm Ellen Clifford, and that's Sean Buchholz.
Thank you. Hello. And we are qualified because, well, we kind of think we learned a little bit about wine.
We did.
Yeah.
We learned so much. This is our first official recording after passing our inter-level at the Court of Master Sommeliers courses.
We forgot our pins.
We
should be wearing our pins.
We should be wearing our pins for all the podcast listeners at home. We want to see the pins.
Right? I wore my pin to work the next night, and I was like, everyone have a pin on? Everyone stop.
I'm an official wine guru.
Wine guru. I was like, how are you pouring?
How are you pouring?
Is that corked? Is that corked? Let me check.
Is that VA on it?
Yeah.
Is
that sulfuric acid? No, that's not something. Shit. How did I even pass the test? Anyway.
You copied off of me.
No, I did not.
You
Ellen
only
got first place, by the way, in the class.
I did. I told Sean he can call that out because I feel very pleased with myself.
And she also finished way before me. I felt really embarrassed.
I also spent like 36 hours of class doing the WSET level 3 or something. So, but you've got all the street experience. Sean helped open Bar Covell. He worked for Greg Condes, our sponsor.
I did. Thank you, Greg Condes, for sponsoring us with our wine.
And thank you to we got a new. You guys, we would really, really love it if you would go on iTunes and leave us a review. Even if you just click the stars, it's helpful. But we got just click the stars.
Just click a star.
5 of them.
Chicken and stars. Or just eat some chicken and stars. So
we got a review from ACause333, who I think I know who this is, but I won't out you just in case. But I'm not like that.
Keep your anonymity online.
I don't know. I mean, maybe they don't want the... Anyway,
there you go.
Thank you for reading the review. I'll read... Should I read it?
Read it, yeah.
It was a very nice
love
review.
To hear it.
He says, first, I must say, Ellen and Sean have such great chemistry and really do have fun with each other and the guests.
Oh.
I love the whole premise of matching a wine to a wine. He did the wine without the H before the wine with the H. But that's
yeah,
okay.
that makes it.
The dialogue can
relevant to
go
the show.
anywhere, so you never know what to expect, which keeps it fresh, and you learn a lot about wines, regions, grapes, varietals, etc. at the same time. I've even gone and tried new wines because of the podcast. Highly recommend this. They're super nice people, too. I wish I lived closer and could come on and bring a wine. with an
Oh,
H.
how cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
AR9467 underscore smiley face.
You can email us a wine, and if we think about it, maybe but we'll let you do that if you want to bring us a wine.
Yeah, you can email us a wine, or you can email us a wine, or
Mail us a wine.
Mail us a wine, or anything.
Yeah.
And what was your quick sip tip?
Oh yeah, the hip sip tip.
Sip tip.
Hip sip tip. We don't even know what we're doing. It's from a winery in Oregon,
Oh.
and really, I'm just feeding you this one because can you guess what it was named?
OPP? Mouton Noir?
No, it's not on Greg's
That's our sponsor.
list.
Whatever.
One of them, but there's something very noir about the name. Gothic Winery.
Oh.
There's a winery called Gothic Wine.
Of course, Ellen's drinking Gothic wine, you guys.
It was a Pinot Noir rosé called Telltale. It was really. I like their stuff.
typical.
I bought a bottle of their regular red from Pinot Noir called Maelstrom.
From Pinot Noir.
They're all like they're really good wines though. I mean, it sounds a little like what Gothic wine is this going to be good? They make really good wine.
Like, do they have like goth names for their wine?
Like Telltale, like
yeah,
Telltale Heart.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And Maelstrom. I think there's a Nevermore.
Blood.
Blood. Yeah, just
Do they
bottle
have like
of blood.
the Trent Reznor?
Sack of blood. Oh, Trent Reznor. If Trent Reznor, if he made wine, I would just drink only that.
Just that.
Sean just saw me like start.
She's blushing, you guys. She's literally blushing right now and laughing.
What was your hip sip tip? Let's move on.
Oh, change the topic. I had a lovely sparkling Vouvray from Loire Valley, which is Chenin Blanc, and the producer's Chamboulé.
Is it
Which
a
it
Cremant?
looks like no, it was a Brut.
Okay.
Yeah, but it looks like champagne, but the Chamboulé or whatever. So everyone's like, "Oh, that's champagne." I'm like, "No. This is a sparkling wine from Loire Valley. It's from Vouvray."
But was it like they call it Cremant de Vouvray? The like.
It did not say
Okay.
that. No.
Cool.
So that makes it a Brut, right?
No, Cremant just means it's champagne method, like Cremant de Loire.
No, it was not champagne method. I knew that.
Cool.
You knew it was not
Okay,
champagne method.
cool.
Okay.
Just a bubbly.
See, this is why Ellen got the highest score in the class,
but-
I just passed.
Sean, I'm taking you with me to the next level, so I'm trying
She's dragging
to.
me to the. I'm so Ellen. God. Okay, I'm nervous. I'm just nervous.
We'll
That's all.
study longer.
I'm already nervous about it.
It's okay.
Should we?
Let's
intro our
introduce.
guest?
Let's get it. Yeah, we keep putting each other on the hot seat. So let's. It's time to put someone else into this hell. This hell we call our podcast. Our guest this week she has her own wonderful podcast called Dumb Nerds.
Yo.
She's an actor, writer, and from what I hear, puppeteer.
Yeah.
I got a lot of questions about that.
Go
I know,
ahead.
me
Yeah.
too. And she hosts a character open mic called Jekyll's Asshole. I'm also curious about that. But
Real classy.
I love it. What would you like to whine about, Cassie? Well, Cassie Jerkins.
Cassie
Say-
Jerkins, yeah.
Oh, surprise.
We got it. We got
Surprise!
it.
Surprise! I have a name.
Everyone's like, I thought it was this other person with all those credits. Cassie
It's
Jerkins.
her.
Okay.
She's adorable too. I'm just like
thanks.
smiling at you.
Cassie the puppeteer. Oh,
Cassie the puppeteer, who wants to complain about or whine about
Whine about.
what about?
women in the workforce.
Ooh. Now, does that mean like you're pro or anti? Just kidding.
As a woman, I'm outraged that women think they can get jobs
How
and
dare
be
they?
paid the same as men, and it's harder. Why?
Oh, we have Ann Coulter.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh God.
Anne, why?
Oh, why, Ann? Why?
Why, Anne?
Oh. Well, I'm going to open some wine for you.
Yeah, we were
Ooh.
curious. I had all sorts of questions because when someone says women in the workforce, I
Yeah.
can think of all sorts of angles to talk about this. So I was
Right.
curious if there was one specific thing because there's so many things I could think of that go with that.
Yeah, I guess. I think the thing that is like that makes me like is on my mind a lot lately about women in the workforce is like just looking at blatant statistics
Yes.
and being like,
Yeah, totally.
and just this whole year, I'm like. I used to think being in 2017, it's like, oh, we're so progressive, we're doing it. No.
We just yesterday, more wine nerdery, just yesterday they named 8 new master sommeliers, which is like the highest level of thing. I mean, it's the hardest test in the world, they say, but 8 people received it. 1 was a woman.
Oh.
Yeah, so 1 in 8 of the new Master Soms is a woman. Yeah.
There's 150 something Master Soms in the world, and there's like 25 of them there. So I hear
And before that, it was just 24 actually out of the total, which is
150 something.
no, it's in the U.S., but internationally, it's like 254, 259 or something.
Yeah.
And I saw the statistics on what they
It's
earn
horrible.
too. It's like so.
Yeah, and
It's
you would
hard
think
for-
too, like if you think about the world too, it's like, oh, the United States, we're like up there and most progressive. No, we're like,
We still haven't had a woman president.
yeah.
Right? I'm actually reading Hillary's book right now.
Oh,
I totally recommend it. Highly recommend it.
I'm on the
actually.
waiting list at the library right now.
I
Oh, yeah.
love it.
Are you reading it? Have you read it?
No, I've just been reading like think pieces about it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how it's just a hot goss fest.
It really is, but it's also, it really just humanizes the whole
Yeah.
process of running for president and what that,
Totally.
I mean, like she is a person and she wakes
Yeah.
up every day and it has like person thoughts and
Yeah.
she's become so demonized and made into this like demagogue in this weird way.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's just so great to see that perspective from her.
Yeah. That's why I definitely want to read it. Is like,
Yeah.
it's like watching the debates and how she was just smiling and being like, that was a stupid thing you just said,
Yeah.
but I have to take the high road. And then
She's
that
like, I want
didn't
to
work.
scream and yell, but I've learned that people don't like it when women do.
Yeah, exactly. And like how she's trying to like be present, but also
It's
like be
have
leadered
emotion,
and-
don't have emotion.
Exactly. Have emotion, don't have emotion,
Yeah.
don't be weak, be strong,
Right.
be sensitive, not too sensitive. It's like,
I mean,
Maddening.
it's so hard. It's so hard.
Let's cheers to us two women.
Yeah.
being
To
here,
women.
And I will
Yeah, at
explain
least
why
women
we picked
get to
this.
work.
Yes, at least we get to be here.
cheers.
Oh, hey, I like that.
Ooh,
Super refreshing.
very refreshing.
So first we were like, well, we should pick a
Very dry.
pink wine because like why not go for the women stereotype,
right?
Yeah.
But then we're like, let's pick a wine that women took over. So
The production of.
the production
What?
of
Yes.
You guys,
I
it's
know.
so
women
thoughtful.
taking over.
this is Domaine de Granajolo. I'm not sure if I said that right. It is from Corsica. Porto Vecchio. I'm really not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly because there's so little information on Corsican wine. But this was started by a man, and now it is run his daughter, from best I could understand reading the French on their website. His daughter got a enology.
Enology, yeah.
Degree somewhere in Australia, I think, and now the daughter and the mother run the winery.
Running the winery.
Oh,
yeah.
that's amazing. I love it.
So
Yeah.
that's how we matched.
Yay.
Yeah, that's actually also true of another producer, Philip Tony. His daughter is now taking over in Napa in Spring Hill. That's another Gregory Condes wine too. Just this little side note.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
What like a fun retirement job, you know?
Oh my gosh.
I guess I'll just open
Yeah.
my own.
Well, there's like the famous joke. It's like, how do you make $1 million in wine? You spend $2 million.
Oh.
Must be nice. I'll see you on the yacht. Bye, Betty. Yeah, so it's definitely like a fun, like rich retired thing. But
Yeah.
for a lot of people who grow up in it, like that's just, it's basically just farming. You're just growing up
Yeah.
as a farmer. So,
Yeah.
you take over the family business of kind of farming, and then the winemaking is another part of it.
I'd be down to take over that
Right?
family business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you puppet some grapes?
I'll have, oh no, I'd have to make puppet feet so they could stomp on the grapes, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I want to see that show. Do you make puppets too?
I do. I was doing it last year. I started actually like making them for work. But I learned that, well, as somebody who's like a performer, it's like you go to an audition, you don't get it, whatever. If you're making something and then showing it to someone and then being like, I don't like it, redo it.
Ooh.
It just was like a lot more time, and it's like hard to communicate. Like, hey, if I make this is taking hours out of my day.
Right.
Like, you need to be very specific with what you want at the top, or like,
Were you making it for free, or
No,
did they pay you to-
for pay.
But still, yeah.
still, it's like, it's like when you start, it's like, ooh, I'm going to make such good money. But by the time it's like really working and collaborating, I mean, some people are great to collaborate with, but then it's like, I just realized I didn't want to work for clients that I didn't have a rapport with for the reason of them being like, no, we have this idea, but we don't know how to communicate it to you, but just keep making and keep crafting. And it's like,
Yeah. No.
no.
Sounds like working with a frustrating director who can't tell you what they want you to
Yeah,
do.
right.
They don't speak actor speak or
Yeah,
something. You're
yeah.
like, what do you want? I don't
Exactly.
get it.
Yeah.
Now I have to ask: is this like Jim Henson? Like, is this? Like,
No, I'm
a
I'm too short for Jim Henson.
Oh,
You have to be tall.
Henson.
Yeah, so a lot of puppeteer sets are built so the puppeteers can stand. So at Jim Henson was like 6'2", and Frank Oz. So they make sets that, like, for them it was like 5'8" and up. I think since now they've lowered it to like 5'4" to be a little more woman friendly, but
Whoa.
not
This
completely.
explains-
That's pretty. Yeah,
But
that
I'm
does explain a
5'2",
lot.
so
The one other like puppeteer I've actually known, just she taught me at the Groundlings, Colleen Smith.
I love her.
She's
She's
so
Oh, yeah,
very
Colleen
tall.
Smith.
She's
I
very
love
tall,
Colleen
and
Smith.
she's a great puppeteer too. Yeah.
Have you thought about buying lifts for your shoes?
I know. I had a lot of
You looked so
like Jim Henson's like studios just did like I think like last year they were like, hey, we want to like diversify, like everybody apply, but they had the height requirement, and everyone was like, just wear platforms,
Yeah.
and then that just takes me back to being in 6th grade, wearing platforms and spraining my ankles like all the
no.
time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think I'm probably mature enough now that I can rock them, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It just brings
know.
back
If you
memories
can find other
too.
people to puppet for, then
Yeah. Well, I work for a YouTube channel that makes science videos for kids, and we have our own puppets, and,
cool.
and that's really cool because it's like we're writing the content and filming it, and yeah,
we were going to ask what you do and about the like if there were a lot of women and
Yeah.
and so it's science, you say?
science, and oh boy, if we want to talk about science, YouTube especially, when they science channels, you can look at your demographics of
Yeah.
like how like what gender and age is watching.
Oh, wow.
Science channels notoriously it's like 80% male.
Wow.
And YouTube hasn't
Watching,
figured out how
making,
to make
or
it more.
both?
I've met a lot of like science women making science videos and even like host, and then they're like, yeah, even my channel has 80-90% male viewers. I don't know how to make it more friendly.
Right.
But the channel I work for, we have some ideas of like we want to test out and
Yeah.
see if that could help. But yeah, I mean, it's just like I think it
you-
just kind of sparks from being a kid and being told women aren't good at science and math, and then just getting discouraged. And I think when you start to give women positive reinforcement that they can learn these things,
Right.
science is super cool
Yeah.
and very interesting and easy to understand when you start at the fundamental building blocks and then start to build upon those ideas to
What's your channel? I want to watch stuff.
yeah,
I'm
what's
like,
the
I would
channel?
come because I listen to like I love the science for just people podcasts,
Yeah.
like Star Talk and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So I love that stuff. What's your channel?
So the grown-up channel we have is called Socratica, and that does like a lot of like really big advanced math and science and biology. And then the channel I work for is Socratica Kids, and that's us trying to get preschoolers to like 3rd grade interested in science. So
Oh, cool.
We did
the puppets.
Yeah, we did like a puppet video and animation teaching kids about the solar eclipse, and that one like went viral, which was like really cool to see.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and like so our astronomy series is doing really well, and then we recently started doing like animals. These animals live in this region of the world, and that's starting to like pick up traction too, which is really nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you study science in school or?
No, not really. I think I like going back to that statistic. I was just like, I guess it's not me. I guess I'm just supposed to be like
Right.
a theater kid.
Yeah, I mean, like, do you think it starts in like the education system where women are told like maybe they shouldn't look at math and science,
Yeah.
and like that sort of gender conforming happens early on in school?
I think it's unfortunately. I feel like as I'm getting older, I'm like learning more and more about how like my upbringing, to no one's fault, was just like an example I have is no one teaches women about making money, and
Right.
women haven't been the breadwinners for very long, like less than 100 years. So we're not told how to like invest, like how to be able to think. Like I don't know, it's like 10, 20 years ago, women were like, I need to get married so I can buy a
Yeah.
house. Like
Yeah.
that was just
I know a lot of women who still kind of
Yeah.
function in that mindset.
Yeah, like mine, and it's probably just our times is like, I need to learn this stuff on my own and like believe that I be an independent woman,
Yeah.
if you will. Yeah, so I feel like I'm going and learning things that like, man, I feel like I know my brother like got taught these things, like,
Right.
but no one just thought to like do that. And I don't think it
teach
was like
everybody.
blatant sexism. It was just like, of course she's going to get married, you know?
Right.
And then I think science, it's just like people, I just remember being in school and people are like, yeah, this is just a thing guys are good at.
Guys are into, yeah.
Yeah. You go write your English essay or whatever.
Where'd you grow up?
San Diego.
Oh wow.
Yeah. San Diego is weird because my school was a lot of kids had parents in the military and everything. So in some ways it felt very progressive, like California, and then other ways it was like, oh, but we all voted for George Bush. Like,
Gotcha.
it's like this weird, like everyone's very nice, but when you talk politics,
It could be kind of conservative, kind of red.
Yeah. Like most of my family is Republicans, which has made this past year
Difficult.
difficult.
Oh gosh, very difficult.
Yes.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the blind sort of allegiance to this party that feels like it's spinning out of control.
Yeah.
Like, how are we still going, yep, this is the way to go.
Yeah.
Like, this is how we want to be seen. Like, this is morally appropriate.
Yeah, I have to like
to
fight.
abuse women. And,
Yeah. Take away your female rights, any sort of minority rights.
I know.
I don't know. I had a hard time explaining to some guys how the whole grab them by the pussy thing, and this is getting serious and sad for this podcast. But like the terror when he got elected, the terror in every woman's heart that someone who said that could be voted by that many people. And I knew someone who did, and he was like, well, it's like people do worse things. It's like that doesn't make it.
It's that boys will be boys kind of.
Yeah.
It's like the Harvey Weinstein thing that's happening right now. The Harvey Weinstein stuff and the culture of Hollywood and being a female in Hollywood. I feel like
for years it's like that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Like just ignore him.
There's worse things.
And also his excuse of like I came up in a time where that was normal. Like exposing yourself and like jerking off into a plant is like normal. Yeah, that's always normal. That's always how it was.
I know.
Like, what? Like, no.
I mean, I hope this is going to create change that people are talking about and everything.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like the whole people it's creating good art and just like
I mean that's like during the Great Depression, a lot of art improv started in the Great Depression.
Really?
Viola Spolin, she was like basically the government was like everybody's unhappy. Let's give the arts some money.
Right,
and so she started teaching improv, and then like
everyone's unhappy.
Everyone's unhappy.
Art's some money.
Yeah, and then improv is a form that it's like you just need a couple chairs and you're good to go.
It's pretty cheap. Yeah,
it's a very
pretty
cheap art form. Yeah.
And all the mimes came about at that time too.
Yeah, that's all the miming
need is your
started.
hands.
Oh man, imagine if mime school was huge.
Yeah. Oh.
We really need to see this UCB mime school on your resume.
Ooh, yeah.
Selling out on that white face paint and berets.
She's good, but can she mime?
If you want to get a commercial agent, I've really been told you gotta get in the mime game.
Yeah, guys.
Just get on your resume.
So all you aspiring actors wanting to move to LA.
You know Jennifer Lawrence, she got discovered on 3rd Street and Promenade in Santa Monica doing mime work.
Who knew?
She was peeling a banana or holding an umbrella. What else do you do? Pull a rope?
And get stuck in a box.
Stuck in a box. I'm like, there's an iconic one I am not thinking of, and it's getting stuck in a
They're
box.
always getting stuck in those boxes.
And they're, Sean played a mime.
And I've played a mime in a short.
A talking mime.
Talking mime.
Talking mime.
I played a mime that couldn't shut up.
Fun.
Yep.
Fun.
It was really fun.
It's
It's called Marcel, if you guys want to Google it.
Yeah.
Google it. Google it, guys.
It's on the. I know we have linked to it before on the Facebook for the wine situation.
You're so sweet. Ellen did that and didn't
It's
tell
a
me.
good little. He's in it, and his co-star was Kristen Schaal.
Yeah,
For those of you who are a
funny.
fan of her, like both of them are hilarious.
Thank
Drew Drogi's
you.
in there.
Drew Drogi's in
It's
there.
a great little
Love
video.
them all.
Jordan Firstman, Jason McAuliffe directed.
Damn.
Yeah, wrote too. Yeah.
Did you guys shoot some of that at Covell? I thought I recognized.
We
the one
did.
scene.
Yeah. Back when we were allowed to shoot there.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
It's just, how it is. Letting people shoot in a place. It's tough.
It just takes one person to ruin it,
It really does. Yeah.
unfortunately.
And unfortunately, it's a business and it's running. And now it's a hotel too. So there's a lot more activity because this was before the hotel, I think. So it was pretty quiet during the day. You could sneak in there and grab a couple shots, but now it's pretty hard.
Now people staying there.
Yeah, now we have all these important people there.
Yeah. I just went to the Intercontinental Hotel for the first time last night.
What's that? Wait, where's that?
It's in downtown LA. It's like 75-ish stories. Like if you go all the way to the 73rd.
That new, the one that
there's
has
like a
now
bar.
the highest. I want to go up there.
Yeah, it's cool. But someone's like, we just opened in June. And as soon as they said, I was like, wait, you just built this and opened in June? They're like, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to leave. This is too scary.
Did you not feel safe all of a sudden?
No.
Oh,
Do
that's
you
funny.
only like to go into buildings that have survived earthquakes?
I guess I've learned, like, a thing about myself last night is, like, I need a building to be erect for a couple years.
Yeah, to
you
know that it's
I
good.
don't want to be the
yeah.
guinea pig on this one.
Because, like, the elevators, there were a couple times we took the elevator and it was like, oh, this one's, it's being a little buggy right now.
Uh-oh,
And
really?
I'm like, it's going up 73 stories.
yeah,
Yeah.
you
I-
want that fully.
Yeah.
You want that feeling safe, yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, everyone else seemed fine.
I've heard it's a beautiful bar, though.
Yeah.
It is. It's really pretty. There's like, I don't know, they have like these gardens of fire. It would be how I would describe it. It's like, you know, where
Gardens
like,
of fire.
Yeah, like
Ellen's
where like
into that.
flowers would be. It's
Ellen's
just,
lit up over there.
yeah. And then there's a lot of little spots where you can sit and like literally look out at
The basin, yeah.
That's the one the side of the building changes colors a bunch,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
My friend lives downtown and has a great view of it, and she's like, oh, we could get the binoculars and look at, there's also, I think, a floor below the lounge, like a steak restaurant or something.
Yeah. With
I
like
thoroughly
little spirals.
plan to hang out at her place and spy on the people.
No, I kind of have a problem with that building because it's not the tallest building. They just built like, well, I mean it is, but they just put a giant stick on top of it.
Oh,
And,
that's what made
it doesn't really
I saw
count.
that stick.
That stick does not a tall building make.
No.
It makes a tall stick.
It makes a medium-sized building holding a stick.
But in New York, isn't that how like the Chrysler building
Yeah.
was the tallest?
That's how they
They're
do
like,
it. Yeah.
They're like, fuck, a stick.
Someone get a stick. It's so stupid.
Yeah. I also love like
So juvenile. It's
Yeah.
like a giant multi-billion-dollar building, and they just like a stick.
I wonder if architects like that's like their like thing they're always thinking of, like, I know I made it when I make the tallest building.
Do you think they had to buy
think
So
so.
close. Give me a fucking stick. I need this.
How much do you think they
I'll pay for it.
like the airspace though? Apparently there's rules. The downtown public library, one of the cool things is they got the funding to redo it by selling their airspace, because it's not a tall building. They sold their airspace to the building next door, which shouldn't be transfer. You shouldn't be able to
Transfer
be like,
Transfer airspace?
I
What?
guess
Yeah,
so.
whoa,
You're
I gotta
only
look into
allowed
this.
to. You're only allowed to like build so high.
Yeah.
But they somehow were able to sell their airspace to the building next door to go.
So they could go
So
higher?
they could go higher? Oh, weird. I
Yeah,
didn't
but
know
that's how
that.
they got like the funding for being. I mean, guys, go do the tour. I am not a nerd. Go do the tour of the. Go do the architecture tour of the downtown public library, 'cause
Oh,
it's
Ellen.
amazing.
Way cool.
That's pretty nerdy. I mean, I don't know how much more nerdy you can get.
I mean, we were talking about
I've gone
selling
twice.
airspace.
Yeah, but like taking the tour of the library.
It's amazing. The
Wait, is there like a tour guide?
There's they do on the weekend. There's a
my
docent.
goodness.
The architecture
Let's
is
go.
amazing.
Yes.
We're gonna go.
Oh yeah.
Cassie
Do you
and I
guys
are
want
gonna
to play
go.
What's in a Glass? I'm into alcohol now. I'm much cooler.
Oh, whoa! She's way cooler.
wine's
No, nerds are cool.
I think
Come on,
so.
we're in UCB. It's like the
I mean,
home
if
of
we're
like
with
cool nerds.
you do host the Dumb Nerds.
Dumb nerds.
Yeah.
And
Podcast.
we've talked about me doing puppetry, which is like by far the most uncool thing.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe this is how much a nerd I am that I'm just like, that's amazing. That's awesome. That makes me feel uncool.
Yeah, it's all pretty nerdy stuff, guys. That's not
Kicking it with
sugarcoat
nerds.
it.
Yes.
I was going to ask if anyone wanted to play What's in the Glass.
We can play What's in the Glass. You want to play What's in the Glass? This is where
Sure.
we like taste wine,
Yeah.
although we're drinking it.
And we talk about what we're tasting.
What we're experiencing,
What we're
yeah.
experiencing. Like, this is a rosé, but it's, to me, a very deep rosé. It's a very deep salmon-y kind of rosé, which to me says either it's like a very darkly hued. Oh, yeah, the grape for this is, Sean, are you better at pronouncing, like, Chiacarello?
I have to exactly. I have to look at it.
This is from
and,
Corsica and is so hard for,
Yeah.
even for Polish
Yeah,
nerds
Chacarello.
like me, it was
I'm gonna
hard
say
to get a
that,
lot of
Chacarello.
information about wine on Corsica.
Well, they have Nerluccio, which is another Sardinian grape. That's the one I know.
What is it?
Nerluccio.
Nerluccio?
But they all have that like ULLLE. LOO, sorry.
Well, this rosé is
trying to read
100%
things upside down.
Chiacarello.
Chacarello.
Chacarello.
Like-
yes.
It's Shaka Khan's younger brother. Chacarello.
This might sound dumb, but the grape tastes like a young grape to me. Like it's not. Maybe they pick it a little too soon to give it like a tart taste to it.
It's very
That's
acidic.
a really astute observation, though.
It grows in granitic soils, which are very good for helping it retain its acidity.
More acid, and then if they pick a little bit earlier, it will have higher acid too.
And this wine did not at least if I was reading the French correctly, it did not undergo malolactic fermentation, which will keep it sharper. So you are a good wine taster.
Absolutely correct.
Oh
you
my
are a good wine
goodness.
taster.
Yeah, I'm trying. I just started. Like for on my Dumb Nerds, I had a couple who have a podcast too, but they did like wine and cheese pairing.
That.
Yeah,
they said something wrong about it.
I
was like, ooh, I'm going to come on.
Oh, Ellen, don't start calling people out because you know we said some shit that's wrong.
Oh, we've said some shit that's totally wrong.
I'm sure I say stuff wrong every day.
But yeah, I listened to that. They had a lot of good stuff, and they knew so much. I don't know stuff about wine and cheese pairing. They were good.
Yeah, and it made me like appreciate wine, and I just like with wine or beer, scotch, anything you taste, it's like just whatever you're tasting, just say it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like helping me form a palate, I feel.
Well, we're gonna bring some bubbly stuff your way at some point, so
Yeah.
Bubbly.
where did the bubbly come from? There will be so much science on that.
Her eyes just went googly. She's like,
Very excited.
Yeah, so this is a pretty acidic wine, I would say. It's
pretty acidic
sharp.
wine. Yeah, I'm getting
I get like lime zest. Very acidic. Oh, can I guess the alcohol level on this?
medium plus. I'm going to guess alcohol is probably 12 and a half.
Yeah, I mean,
We
a
could
very
go, yeah.
soft wine, but that may just be the grape.
Should we look?
Yeah.
Do you want to guess?
I'm going to say 11.5.
How are you tasting?
Alcohol?
Well, yeah, I taste the alcohol, but
Yeah.
like
where
the
you feel the
percentage.
heat.
Oh,
And I feel very little heat with this.
And also, how far down does the heat go? Like down your throat into your chest?
okay.
Yeah.
So like, does it stop at your throat? You know, it's less alcohol. If you feel it all the way down into your chest, like when you breathe in after you take a sip,
Then that's some hardcore alcohol.
then that's some hardcore alky.
And like really low tends to be like below 11.5. Medium is like maybe that to 13.5. And then you start to get into the high levels up to 16, which wine doesn't get higher than that because the yeasties just stop doing their work.
Yeah, the yeasties die.
I would say the heat stops like the back of the tongue, like
So it's pretty
throat.
low.
Pretty low, yeah.
Yeah, and you were saying it's a French wine, right?
It's from Corsica,
From
yeah,
Corsica.
an island, yeah.
So if the fact that Nick and Muriel told me is correct,
What did they tell you?
European wine tends to be less alcoholic than
More.
United States.
It depends where you go.
But,
I mean,
but maybe that's like a marketing thing
As
today.
a-
Maybe they're like, oh, people want to get more
in
drunk.
California, things get, and where it's warmer, things get riper, so the alcohol tends to be higher. So I guess that could be an overall.
Yeah, as an overall,
okay.
yeah, I
But
agree.
we're-
Yeah,
I was just thinking of Amarone and a lot of Italian wines that are like bombs of alcohol.
Amarone is really the exception.
But
yeah,
like,
it's
there's
a big one.
tends to be cooler. Yeah, the cooler climates equal usually less alcohol. So
Then there's
Okay,
also all the
so we're talking
Madeiras and
French,
fortified wine.
and
That's
then
true.
possibly a young grape. So 8%.
Whoa, you're gonna go 8%.
is that pretty low?
That's like Riesling level. That's like
Riesling
beer level.
She's going 8.
I'm going
though.
11.5.
What did I say?
You said 12.5.
Yeah.
12 to 12.5.
Okay, now it's now the fun part of the game is where did they put the alcohol content
yeah.
on this? Oh, 13.5.
Holy shit! So this is a
Dang.
deceptive one.
Yeah,
What do you know?
deceptive rosé.
My gosh.
So, like, if this was The Price is Right, I would be.
You would close. Come
going
on
down.
down.
You did. You got it. You got it.
And then my
Sean
after
is
I've
the
the
been
winner.
watching the show since I was a kid. I used to watch it with my grandmother. I used to sit on her couch and I would watch this with her. I can't believe I'm up here. I can't believe I'm up here. Go UCSB. Go UCSB. Sorry, I had a whole bit there.
That was amazing.
Thanks.
That was amazing. Yes.
A new car. I'm living out my fantasy right now, you guys, and I'm subjecting everyone in this room to it.
So more nerd things. This was Cordon de Royat trellis. I don't even know what that looks like, but it's how they pruned these was Cordon de Royat because there's all sorts of fancy. Yeah, see, Sean, when you come with me to the next level, you're going to learn all sorts of things about. Well, you probably know about like Gaillot.
Oh yeah, Guillaume.
Guillot.
It is how you train the vines.
How you train the vines and you clip
Train
them.
them. Ooh.
You don't do. You could do a single Guillaume, which is what, like one little arm that comes off one side. Oh, do you want to finish
Guillaume-
explaining?
No,
I
go
jumped
ahead.
on you.
I like it.
I was mansplaining.
No, you
But
you
in a
know
fun
what it is.
accent.
Yeah, my accent wouldn't be nearly as
I
fun.
don't mind a man mansplaining to me.
Yeah,
or
if it's in a
fun
French accent. Do it in French and you can do it all night. I'll just listen.
There's terms. There's terms to this women lip thing. There's terms. And then you could do a double guillot, where you have the one and you have 2 lines that come off the top.
Do you know the difference between that and just regular like spur trained and because they have just one
the number of buds.
one
I think.
shoot. Yeah, with the guillot they have like they don't have old wood.
Old wood. Oh yeah, they
There's
trim it back.
no cane. They just they cut it back and they pick
No
one.
cane.
Yeah, no cane.
Someone told me how to properly say Michael Caine's name in his accent.
What?
You just say Michael Caine. Michael Caine. Are you Michael Caine is snorting on Michael Caine. Michael Caine. You just say Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine. Michael
Michael Caine.
Caine.
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
Michael
It's
Caine.
so nice to meet
Isn't
you.
it fun?
I don't need wine when I have my cocaine.
Michael
Caine.
Michael. Yes. Can I help you?
No, Michael Caine.
Oh, sorry. He's always confused.
I mean, he's always going to those Hollywood parties.
Oh,
we
he
can
is a
only
Hollywood
imagine.
type. Michael Caine. Michael Caine really is. Michael Caine.
Zig is just looking at us like, what the fuck is happening?
He's like, I stopped recording.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, trust me,
I'm doing you a favor.
you're gonna edit all this later anyway.
And now it's just playing the Price is Right theme song.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
just the rest of the episode. It's just the
It's
Price
just
is
an actual episode of My Price is Right.
That'd be funny. Just an actual.
Someone would be like, I'll keep listening.
Yeah, I'll play along.
They're gonna come back. I know it. They're gonna come back in the whole rest. Just waiting. I'm pretty sure they're gonna come back.
But Michael Caine!
Michael Caine. Michael Caine.
My cocaine.
Quit doing Michael Caine. Sorry. It's really fun to do, right?
It is.
So now you all know
I
how to
love
say it.
Now I know how to say it correctly. I had one more serious question I wanted to ask about women in the workplace.
Oh,
Ooh,
boy.
keep it up.
Taking how do you feel about how we treat each other in the workplace? Because sometimes we're wonderful to work with, and sometimes
Yeah.
we're terrible because we're so competitive. Because we're like, fuck, there's only
Yeah.
one of those 8 sommeliers is going to be a master,
Yeah.
so better beat the other women out.
Damn. Yeah, that's hard. That's
So
a hard
sometimes I
truth.
find that women are very difficult to work with, and sometimes I find that it's
Yeah.
very positive, and it seems to really vacillate a
Yeah.
lot. And I hate saying that about women, but I'm
Right.
like, yeah, sometimes, especially in comedy, I've noticed there can be some women that it's
It's like they're instantly your best friend, and there's others where it's like, I don't think I'll ever really get to connect to you
'Cause you're
as a
so
person
because
because of the wall, or or you
Or
won't
just-
even say hi to me. Like, why?
or we're not
Yeah.
willing to.
Whenever that happens, I'm like, that's on them.
That's-
I try to be very open, and
Yeah.
I.
That's a great attitude to take. That's on them. Because
it's
me, I'm like,
sure
what's
it's
wrong
passive
with
aggressive,
me?
but
I
I'm
mean,
like, oh yeah, I feel like I got it from doing retail as a teenager. It's like,
really?
yeah, anytime someone was mean or rude, coffee or whatever, I just go, man, their life must be that miserable that they had to take that out
Yeah.
on a complete stranger.
Yeah.
Just right away that energy of you're stupid or whatever. It's like,
Not on me.
yeah.
That's really
It's I don't
good.
need that.
See, I
Roll
let
my
it wear.
back.
I let it do it exactly what they want to, which is wear on my self-esteem as a person.
Oh no.
Yeah, but I mean that makes me think of going in for an audition and the room dynamics.
Yeah.
I'm very I'm curious about it, but I don't feel like I participate in it. I'm
That's
just
probably good.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. But if people talk about these people do this to try and throw you off, and it's like, oh, that's silly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I have some people that I don't even know if they're doing it
I
consciously.
don't know.
You're
Yeah.
are you trying to distract me? Are you
But they-
trying to psych me out by having your earphones in, or do you genuinely need your earphones in to tune everybody else out?
Yeah.
Or is it just to psych? It's
I just have a friend who I'm like, you're my friend, right? But then recently now when I see him at auditions, I'm like, I don't know. I think you're trying to get in my head a little bit.
oh my god.
Yeah, because he'll kind of cut me down, but in a joke.
Yeah.
And it's we're really friendly. I would I just think of it as
Yeah,
banter. But
right.
the past couple of times I've seen him, I've been like, oh, maybe this is
wow.
slightly calculated.
Yeah.
Before I go in the room, I'm slightly feeling
Yeah, I mean, maybe
Do you run into him at auditions a lot?
a lot.
Oh, okay.
you look exactly the same.
We look similar. Yeah, we're similar types.
wow.
And he's like I said, I'm I even feel weird saying that because I'm like, no, he's a friend. I shouldn't even think like this.
Yeah.
But the last time I saw him, I was I had the spidey sense of maybe this is slightly
I think
Mind
sometimes it
fucky.
can change too. Is like I've noticed, with so many artists, it's like when things are going well, they tend to be more like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, we all get ours. There's plenty to go around. And then when it's maybe been a while since booking something or doing something that's creative fulfilling, they can get a little more sharky.
Yeah, more like that. But it's funny you saying that about, being a duck in that way of like letting things roll off your back. Like a lot of times in the service industry, I agree, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
And even today, from a consumer standpoint, I was like buying a jacket at Dick's Sporting Goods or something, and I was just running around and frustrated, and I was asking this question and she answered it wrong, and I was like, no, that's not what I was saying. And I realized I'm like, I'm sorry. It's not. I'm like, and I could see her be like, you're a dick. And I'm like,
no.
And I just kept being like, no, it's not you. I'm like, and I just was like, no, it's okay. It's fine. And I'm like, I don't need you to, no, stop. I'm like, I'm being an asshole. It's just, I got to get out of here.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Bye.
I'm like, I'm sorry. Bye.
Yeah.
But I could see her be like, you're being a dick. And I'm like, I could see how you would think I was being a dick, but I'm not being a dick. And I hope you're okay with this.
I mean, I feel like that's like complicated the way to communicate to retail people, because like as someone that's come from retail, there's like this want to be like nice and warm, but you can't be too nice and warm because then that's like very fake, and they're like, ugh, get away from me. Ugh, so it's like finding a common ground. I think the best way to do it is like just kind of read the room. Like if the retail person's like, I'm open, let's have a human interaction, versus I can't wait till I get off because I hate this job, then it's like, all right, just cup
Totally
of
get
coffee.
it.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna.
Although sometimes, can I tell a story?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
a story from last
Story.
night. I felt like I was put under some sort of test trying to get quarters for the grocery store to do laundry. Like sometimes, I'll go and I'll be like, oh, hey, do you happen to have a roll of quarters for a 10 when I'm checking out? And it was kind of late at night, and I see this guy, I grocery shop every other day, so I see
He's
him
my
all the
grocer.
time, and he seemed tired, and I just started to ask, and he just gives me this look, like he turns his head to the side. I'm like, oh, don't even ask, ha ha ha, laugh it off. But then, like, after I said that, then he called out to like the other checkers, like, hey, do you have rolls of quarters? That was really nice of him, and he finished just checking me out, and I'm like, hey, thanks for asking the others. And then he's like, you have a 10? He pulls out a roll of quarters. Like, he was not going to give it to me, apparently. I was like, oh, I'm glad. Were you just waiting for me to thank you extra? It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
It was very strange,
Interesting,
because he gave me a look like, don't even bother asking, I don't have quarters, which happens to me a lot there. But then, like,
And then he produced the quarters?
he produced the quarters, yes.
And then he was like, give me a 10.
well,
Or did he charge you for it, like on your credit card or
It's a
something?
10. That's how many, $10 is how many
Yeah.
quarters is in a roll.
I thought he was like bribing you.
No. He just
Yeah.
meant,
He's like Tony Soprano. He's like, I'll get some quarters for you.
sounds
Give me a
like-
10.
I don't know.
no, it was weird.
I
It was-
feel like maybe he was just having a day and then being like, oh, and I have to do this extra thing where all I want to do is just check you out.
Right.
yeah.
And then you charmed him.
I guess so.
You charmed him.
I was
Yeah.
like, I didn't know if I was being tested, though. Like, how
Yeah.
grateful can you be that I...
Yeah.
it was odd, because he was not going to give it.
But then also, like, where do you get quarters? I mean, is that a thing you go to the bank for?
Yeah,
like, I would think you'd go to
but
the grocery
you can
store.
go to the grocery store, but some grocery people are like, oh, you can only do it during business, like 9 to 5, late night. It's like, oh, the safe is closed, or
I see.
No, this was probably like 9:30. at
yeah.
Vons.
Safe
I mean,
is
I've
closed.
always.
The safe is closed, Ellen.
Well, I'm
You
just like.
should really know that. No, Ellen. No, I'm kidding. I'm not putting
it was
us
just, I mean, it was like, if it hadn't occurred to me, I'm like, oh, he seems to have had a long day, so I'm like, I should thank him again.
Yeah.
So I did, and apparently it got me quarters. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
But I felt like I was being tested.
Oh, to be like extra,
like he was
extra
tired.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Like, how
yeah.
grateful are you?
Yeah.
You're like, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
But
Give me quarters. Give me quarters.
I mean, I was
I
pleased.
feel like if I'm like very tired and someone's like, thank you so much, I'm just like, stop.
Yeah.
I don't think I did it like that. I think I was
Right,
just like,
but-
hey, thanks for asking.
Yeah.
Because he did go like above and like.
Totally, yeah. But I mean, there's that specific energy of like, hi,
Yeah.
I
I
know,
know.
but can you do all this extra work for
That's
me?
probably me
Thank
at
you
like
so much,
every
thank you so
bar.
much.
I have it. I call it the can I just have a glass of water face. Like people walk up like,
Oh, and it's already
yeah,
that
it's
face.
already I'm like, you want
I
water.
love it. Yeah,
because
yeah.
they're like,
Oh my god,
because
that's
they know they
amazing.
don't want to ask. I'm like, you want a glass of water? Yeah,
'Cause
it's
it's
fine.
like-
Of course.
yeah.
I'm happy to pour you a fucking glass of water.
Right, yeah.
But just know that if someone forgets to bring you water, it's not the end of the world.
yeah.
Because it's literally like, if you're busy, it's like, great, I'll do that. It's going to go right to the bottom of my list, though. Because
Yeah,
I have a
yeah.
lot more important transactions happening before I get to that.
Yeah.
And 1 out of 10 times I'll forget. Because because you'll just get inundated with requests, and like that one just really gets lost.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So
Totally.
just ask again.
I was a
Yeah,
terrible
yeah, just
waitress.
yeah, but it is
yeah.
funny. Like I have to prioritize things when you're working. You're like, that's going to go to the bottom of the list. Unless you're choking.
Totally.
In which case it'll go to the top.
I don't think I answered your question, but I was thinking a little bit about it. Of like female dynamics.
Yeah.
And it made me think about the recent statistic. I was like, oh man. Do you guys know what like the number one job that women do is?
Secretary?
Yep.
Yeah.
Still?
97%.
Are there men
secretaries?
Are women? I never hear
3%
men
are
secretaries.
Wow.
Most people don't even think to hire a man as a secretary. But yeah, it's more than nurses and teachers.
Wow.
That's what women are doing still. But they were like, I think it was a podcast I was listening to that was talking about like secretary work in 2017 and how like even the secretaries were talking about how like working for a male secretary, like CEO or person, boss versus a female. And they were talking about how like with the female, they tend to do less work because the female is already like, I got it. Can you watch
I don't
my
want
baby?
to ask you this, but
My baby is sick and I need a meeting. Can you watch my baby? Like that's like kind of
more
the
like-
work.
yeah.
Where the guy is like, the man is more like the female secretary is like, I do a lot more outside of my like job description. Not feeling overburdened, but being like, I actually feel like more a part of the company because I'm getting to like correspond with other people that are it's like
Interesting.
and sometimes you wonder, is that because the women, we just like want to take stuff on ourselves because we have a hard time asking for things, or is it because I was interning at an agency and I sometimes was under one girl and sometimes worked under another, and there was one that would teach me everything, how to do her job totally, and then like later on she told me, I think she didn't want to teach you because she didn't want you to move into her like to know how to do her job.
Ooh, that's interesting. Yeah.
I mean, I can speak from my sister-in-law's experience, and she works in Silicon Valley. She does like venture capital stuff.
Right.
And a lot of times when she's on a group email and people see that it's a female name, they assume that she's a secretary for someone else. And this happens often.
Wow.
Very, very often. They see a female
Silicon
name.
Valley,
and then
there's been a lot of stuff coming out.
So then the other secretaries will email her and be like, when are we setting up an appointment for blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I am a partner.
Yeah.
So in that regard, like I could see how if you had worked, hard and then you had a female secretary underneath you, you would want to sort of like make sure that you were being considered and being seen on the same playing field as these other men. And she's constantly having to assert herself in that way.
Yeah. I tech shows at UCB, and teching, running the sound and lights, is a very male-dominated job. Yeah. And
I used to do it.
Yeah, right. I feel like every male improviser is like, I used to do this. And I'm like, well, it's my job.
I've had a rig. I've had a writing rig.
But I feel like I constantly have to, let's say I'm working with a group I haven't worked with before and I'm letting them in for rehearsal. I make it a point to be like, I'm teching your show. And I see their face go, oh. And it's like, it's a very subtle thing, but it was like, if I don't say I'm teching their show, they go, where's the tech?
Wow.
They don't even think that it's like
that
this
it'll
little,
be you.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then, someone's like, oh my God, you were so great.
Surprise!
Surprise!
Again!
Yeah. Like, luckily there's no one that's like, starts sweating like, oh my God, a woman's taking my show or whatever. But it's just like little things where it's like, you have to remind people like, oh, this is a title that I can have, even though just in our collective consciousness, women tend to be secretaries, or like, another statistic is as women move up, they make less money. Yeah. Which is like,
crazy.
What?
Like, well, you got the title. You're not making the cash.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's insane. And it's just like, we all know these things and nothing's changing. And then you watch politics and you're like, well, I guess, why? Why are we here?
And why?
Why? Why do I want to bring children into this world to make it like...
But then you get like people hold doors open for you.
Right. It's so nice.
We have to menstruate, Sean, so someone should open a door for us occasionally.
Someone holds a door open for you guys. I mean, you guys get into clubs for free.
Right, because
we
always be clubbing puppeteers.
Yeah, right.
I love these examples in the title.
I have this karmic theory that until we're paid equally, that men should buy us things on dates. Is that terrible?
I mean, I feel like that's a very feminist thing to do. Is like, if you're on a date and the check hits the phone, be like, well, we all know that you make 30 cents more than I do an hour, so I will let you pay for the bill tonight until we are coupled and I'm making more money than you, and you don't feel insecure by that fact.
There on that too.
A boom.
Take that. Call me an Uber. I'm going home. I don't know why I'm single, guys. Just kidding.
I mean,
I've never done that.
I mean,
I've never demanded an Uber called for me, although I have a friend who said she has.
Really?
Like, the guy was like, "Oh, come over." She's like, across from like East LA to downtown. She's like, "Send me an Uber and maybe I'll think about it." It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, power move.
Yeah, but yeah, I do
For
feel
sure.
like the dating world is very like up in the air right now. Like the script is
A splash more.
a splash.
Have a splash more.
It is very tasty.
Go gadget arms.
But yeah, because I feel like a lot of guys are like, I don't know, girl likes me. I don't know if to ask her out or if she's just being friendly or like, you know, it's like
Yeah,
just a
they're-
lot. Like the social script, I think, is changing. But I mean, yeah, dating, I think, is very interesting. Child rearing, too, is like, it's constantly changing.
Mm-hmm.
I see so many guys walking, like I walk around the reservoir a lot in Silver Lake. I see a lot of dudes with kids.
Dudes with kids, yeah.
Walking
I
their
like
kids
that.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like once.
Although it's Silver Lake, and I feel like it's possible there's two dudes in the kid's life, so some like
Yeah, there could be that.
yeah.
based on the demographic. But I mean that could just be me
Yeah.
being.
Are
They
you
could be more
judging
safe.
people?
Yeah.
Ellen?
No, I'm just saying that there maybe a woman's not an option.
And that's okay.
And that's okay.
We love that. Yeah, I'd like to think in LA it's changing. Like maybe once a couple or, you know, multiple people, if you want to be in a polygamous relationship, whatever your
Yeah.
cup of tea is. Like once it's like secure, I'd like to think it's healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And sharing the parenting duties too.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Well, and going back to the workforce, maternity leave is pretty
Right.
non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
Maternity leave is like very delicate for women. Women feel like if I leave too long, I could get replaced or
Right.
Not getting what is it, pension or
Yeah.
Well, and also you're getting disability. You're like disabled when you have a kid. I love how they call it. I love how they call it. Yeah, you get disability when
I
you're.
have a tumor.
Yeah, you're like,
It needs to get removed in 9
oh,
months.
you just had a kid. You're disabled.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
like that's what the government calls it. Like, cool. Thanks, government.
Thanks, government. Who's also like recently like birth control. What do we think about that?
Yeah.
No,
Come on, men. Let's talk about it.
nope,
Oh,
Nope.
boy.
not
Let's
for you.
decide. Yeah.
Not for you.
Not your body. You can't decide.
Yeah.
On that note, should we do the
On that
lightning
note,
round?
let's do a lightning round.
Let's ask some questions.
'cause I'm going to teach you things about wine, so there's more women in the wine industry.
Yes.
Yeah.
My new master plan. I'm like, I'm going to become a master somm to bring feminism up.
I feel like I'm at a point
She's
where
on a- she's on a
there's
mission.
a wine commune. I'm like, yeah, pack it up. Let's go.
Let's go.
Back it up. Let's do this.
yeah.
I like it.
If you go there, you'll need to know. What do you want to ask first about the tartrates?
Yeah, that's the tartrates.
What is cold stabilization? This wine has undergone it.
Stabilization. I feel like it's during the fermenting process.
Yeah. Well, it can be.
Well, no.
You can do cold soak. I'm
But
thinking cold soak.
that's cold soak.
But like, maybe
Oh, no, you're
after
right,
all
yeah.
Tartrates.
when it's just sitting and like doing its thing.
Yeah.
You got to keep it a certain temperature, and then maybe based on the wine, it's got to be a little bit colder.
I mean, that is true.
That's true, yeah.
Cold stabilization. So sometimes you get a wine, and it wouldn't happen with this. Sometimes you get a wine, you see what looks like kind of like crystals in it a little
Yeah.
bit, or you're like, ooh, is there sediment in
Is
my
there
wine?
a specific type of wine that tends to have more crystals in it, or it's just
No,
like
it can happen in red, or like in
Yeah,
red,
red.
you'll see some
Oh, okay.
pink crystals. In white, you'll just see it'll look like tiny little debris at the bottom, and that
They
is
called them
Oh, okay.
wine diamonds.
wine diamonds. This one does not have it because it
Diamonds
underwent.
last forever.
What happens is wine's made and tartaric acids, they precipitate sometimes and form these little crystals. It's just like natural. It happens when it gets cooler. So some wines will undergo cold stabilization where they chill the wine to below freezing briefly to make all the tartrates precipitate, and then they filter the wine.
Oh.
So it's just another thing that can be done to wine, which this wine has gone under.
And cold soak is something else, my bad.
Cold soak happens before it's mainly to get like the
color.
color off the
Yeah.
skins. This might have had a cold soak. I
Mine
forget.
had a cold soak.
Cool foie. I'm
It's
trying
like
to-
it's like taking a polar dip.
see
yeah.
so much science.
Tartrates. Yeah, tartrates.
Precipitating.
Wine diamonds, tartrates.
tartrates.
So yeah, if you ever see little crystals in your wine glass, those are called wine diamonds.
And they don't do anything to you. They
And they're
don't
fine.
taste
They're
bad.
harmless.
They're fine.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
never scared by
It's just
them.
visual.
Never.
Yeah.
Except
Good.
they're called wine diamonds.
Yeah, that's a fancy way to say.
I like it.
Elizabeth Taylor loves them. Now you might know this one. Is Corsica French or is it Italian?
It's
Corsica.
closer to Italy.
Closer to Italy.
Are you trying to throw me off?
Is Corsica.
Not because I'm not feminist, but I'm trying to throw you over. French or Italian? French or Italian?
French or
Let's
Italian?
say French.
Yeah.
You are correct.
You are
Ooh.
correct.
How many points does she get?
Oh, that's
We
right.
haven't
Oh
been
my
keeping
god, I'm
points.
getting scored.
You're getting 15,000 points.
Did I
on
get
that.
any
Yeah.
points for that other
Bonus
one?
question: what sea is it in, or
What sea
ocean, or
is
body of
Corsica?
water?
It's pretty like.
Can I get an ABC like?
Sure. B.
We did it for an A.
I'm just gonna go right
Let's
to
just
B,
skip-
you guys.
let's just
I
say
always
B.
skip A.
Mediterranean.
B,
I mean,
the
make up the
Adriatic.
letters. Let's have fun.
B, the Adriatic, or C, the Atlantic.
Let's go B.
No,
Let's go
Mediterranean.
C.
That's okay.
It's okay. You're still getting 15,000 points because
Okay,
that
I'll
was a
take the
bonus.
15,000.
So
That
now
was a
she has
bonus.
30,000 total, or just that's
Did-
for question.
Did I
one
get
and
any
two?
points for the first one?
Well, you did get acidity on the blind tasting, so I'll give
That's
you 10.
true,
I'll give you
yeah. Oh, yeah.
10,000 for that one. So
That was a baller move
These
on
are
my
new.
point.
yeah,
These are new techniques of scoring.
yeah, these are new techniques. So you're 25,000 points right
Great.
now. I won't forget this.
Name a female winemaker.
Do you know any female
Do you know
winemakers?
Sophia Coppola.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we didn't even think of that one.
Yeah.
That's right.
Because
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I got too excited. It's
Come on
knocked
down.
in my-
Come on down.
You're the next contestant on the Wine Situation.
I mean, technically, I think maybe her dad makes it, but he's named it after her. at
Yeah.
least. So
I'm gonna give
she's
you
got
that.
the bubblies in the can.
yes.
Yeah, Sophia
I love
Coppola,
it.
yeah.
We didn't think of that. We were sitting
didn't
there
think of
trying to. I know Nan Helgeland, who has Martian, a biodynamic winery. We
Kathy
thought,
Corson.
Mary
Napa Valley.
Edwards.
Yeah.
Mary Edwards. See, and then we were like, there's not as many
There's
of them.
not as many.
No.
But and also for this Demanda Granajolo. Wait, is her name on here?
Go to the tape.
The name's not on the bottle, but
See, she should put her name on the bottle.
Put your name on the bottle, girl.
yeah,
Own
Andre
it.
Boucher is the name of the guy who started it, but it's his wife and daughter. See, they didn't even put the
How about just
Jesus
Miss
Christ.
Well, I mean,
Mademoiselle Boucher?
Yeah,
Mademoiselle
and going back to a sad statistic, women that start their own businesses tend to make less, like a substantial less revenue than men. So
men.
having the man,
We don't know what we're doing unless it's coming. Unless it's a child coming out between our hips, and we don't know what
they're
we're doing.
only
with
good
it.
for making babies.
Or redecorating
Even though
the
I'm
sitting
like,
room.
I don't know how that's going to go down. I know it naturally happens, but
Yeah, I don't know about childbirth in my life.
I feel much more confident in puppeteering.
You're like, I can
Please,
puppet a
monies,
puppet.
please, for puppeteering. Babies, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. And then the final question, which is, just
Yeah.
a freebie.
lighten things up.
Okay.
Lighten things up. Just what's bringing you some joy right now?
Ooh, what's bringing me some joy right now?
Joyous things. Happiness.
Gosh, what is happening? Okay, well, this feels like a UCB plug, but I'm working on the Halloween Immersive Theater show.
Whoa!
Oh, fun.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's called Hell. I don't know the title.
Is it like a haunted house kind of thing, or
so
like theater
it's
slash haunted?
escape rooms.
Oh God, I can't. I'm like terrified of the idea of that. In a way that I.
But it's themed like Escape LA, so each
Ooh.
escape room is like LA themed. So the room
that
I'm
just real
working on,
life?
yeah, but the room I'm working on is called Escape from Hollywood and Highland.
Ooh.
So
nice.
you like
Oh
get
my
locked in
God.
this room, and there's like a bunch of seedy
Is
characters.
there the guy with like the stereo preaching?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's like
No.
but then there's like a bunch of puzzles, and you have 15 minutes to get
Oh,
out.
wow.
And the whole thing is like our room is like try to get enough money so you can get a bus ticket to take the Star Tours out of there.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's
Are they
been
doing
really
that
fun.
here, like upstairs?
They're doing it
at the UCB
here.
Sunset?
Yeah, I think there's actually going to be one escape room in the digital podcast, and it is
Zig's
like
saying yes.
and it's
We get
like
affirmative.
Escape from an LA podcast.
Oh my God!
Like you show up and you're stuck in someone's
So,
podcast.
I'm reaching across
fun.
to Cassie. Didn't tell you something.
Oh no!
But don't worry, we have wine. It'll be fun.
Yes. So I've been really focused on our room, but I've been hearing stories about other people's rooms, and they sound very fun and very silly.
Very cool.
But not like scary, like, oh, there's like stabby murder.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
like in creepy movies. It's like Marilyn Monroe,
Gotcha.
who's very jaded, is like trying to trick you or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're trapped in a birthday cake.
Oh, God. Yeah, your friend's kid's birthday party. Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
no!
No, I didn't get a gift. Or everybody got the same gift.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
American Girl dolls.
Yeah, but it's been very
that's awesome.
consuming. Like, I love it. And then after Halloween's over, I'll be like, sweet, hit the holidays where everything kind of naturally slows down.
Yeah. Exactly.
Kind of looking forward to that because it's been a little busy.
Yeah, I think we're all kind of had a crazy year, I think.
I can't believe it's been a year, you
know.
guys.
Think how hopeful we were 1 year ago.
Yeah.
Soon.
Can I ask what's joyful in your lives?
Oh, Ellen, no one's ever asked.
Wow.
Oh my God, you guys, they're crying right now.
I've realized recently how many amazing artists I have in my life who are just like, so I had one friend who does this. He's a photographer. He's another improv friend, Elko Weaver. We'll have him on the show. He's a hilarious guy. He also is a photographer, and he does this series of People Against a Red Wall. And he did this kooky, when I showed up, he likes to photograph his friends in front of that wall, and I came over and he's like, we should do something with you and wine and contortion. So I'm like, okay. So he took this crazy picture of me. It's a really cool picture. And then like I recently have another friend who does these caricatures who like, because I was using it as my
profile
picture.
Yeah.
Profile pic.
She saw me like gesturing profile
Just
picture.
saw a circle, and I was like,
I have another friend who's a drawer,
Social
and he
media.
just like randomly sent me. Matt Hirschfeld, amazing artist, sent me. He did a drawing of it. I haven't put it online yet.
Yeah.
And I'm like out of nowhere, and I'm like, I have these generous artists sending me these things, and
I feel like
so it makes me feel so grateful to know them, and they're so talented. And
yeah, as hard as this industry is, I'm constantly telling myself that like other people don't have this experience, and these like these people you're connected to that are just so
They'll
creative
do so
and
much for you.
talented.
Yeah.
I feel like I agree. Like all the time, I'm like, my heart gets warmed. Like, this like amazing creative gift I love.
Yeah, I think mine's similar as well. Just the people that all the different groups of people in my life and how they show up for me. I think is what I'm the most grateful for. And like doing this podcast and the people that have shown up to do this, and like even when I do plays and stuff, when people come to do that, and just the amount of people that show up and are consistent, and I think is like my big thing. Because I took my my love language test, and I'm definitely acts of service.
Like, so you like being showered with gifts?
No. Acts of service is just like people like showing up, or like someone being like, "Oh, I went ahead and did your laundry for you," or like this or that. Like I actually don't like stuff. I'm the opposite of that.
That's right. That's another one. It's like gift service.
I've never heard.
Compliments,
I haven't heard
like,
of this test.
Yeah.
Oh, you should take it.
Oh, you should do it. Yeah.
Send me a link.
It's been a while since I've taken it, so I have to take
But I'm
it.
definitely an acts of service love language person. Yeah.
It's nice to just knowing someone thought of you and did something is like really great.
Totally.
Yeah.
And just that people like showing, just in the showing up factor. And into what you said as well, that I'm a part of this community. And as hard as it is, as frustrated as it is, and, we all have bad days too.
Yeah.
But, to remind myself that I am in this world and like I'm having a great time and I get to do these fun things. It's pretty great.
It's great. Yeah.
And, knock on what I don't.
We get to do comedy and drink wine.
What?
I
know.
Sean's been
we're
this
the spoiled
amazing
ones.
co-host. Seriously, I don't know how this whole thing would. I was like, this is a crazy idea.
I feel the same way. I couldn't do it without Ellen. It was like impossible. So this show wouldn't exist without
awesome
Ellen.
guests.
Or awesome guests. Oh, thank you so much for asking.
Of course.
That brought me joy. That was so sweet.
I was curious.
Oh. Well, on that note, cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks so much for being here. You're amazing.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much.
We are so grateful for your listenership.
We are grateful for your listenership.
It's true. It is the season of giving thanks.
It is
kind
the
of.
season of
We're
thanks.
getting there.
Yeah, and if you guys want to express that in some sort of comment or
or some kind of 5-star rating on iTunes,
that would be great.
We could use it.
Thank you, UCB.
Thank you to Dr. America Comedy for our song.
Dr. America Comedy, we got it right this time.
Yes. Thank you, Zig, for hanging out with us forever and ever.
Thanks, Zig. Thanks all of our wine peeps, Gregory Condez and Cobell people.
All of them.
Yeah.
We're so high energy right now.
We are super chill, you guys. It is a little cloudy and we are feeling the vibes.
Just feeling the winter vibes.
Yeah. Up next week we have Ryan O'Connell, the amazing.
Yes, get ready for some high energy, hot gossip.
Exactly.
Actually, I was listening back to it's kind of a gossip fest.
I think it is. Anyway.
A little bit.
Anyway.
We're talking about you, listeners.
That's right. Thanks, guys, and we'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.
I just drink wine. I don't fuck with IPAs. I just drink wine. I don't fuck with Minute Maids. I just drink wine. I don't fuck with coffee mates. I just drink wine. Give me red, white, or say, don't touch me, motherfucker. I'm a sommelier.
This has been a Boardwalk Audio podcast. For more information and shows, visit boardwalkaudio.com. Don't forget to rate and subscribe now.